Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whoever is joining with us from the every corner of the world, we are welcoming you to this session. Welcome you all to Joti. It's great to see you all joining. So let me introduce myself first, then others on the team. I am Shehabuddin Sani. I'm working as a humanitarian action consultant of OZOM, and I'm from Bangladesh. So Sean, Nathan, and Raul, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. In the same way as Sunny said, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm joining from Geneva, Switzerland, so it's just coming into my evening. I'm Sean, and I am also a humanitarian action consultant for WASM. And Nathan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Yu. I am a WASM consultant for humanitarian action. I'm joining you from the other side of the world, which is just coming into my afternoon. I'm in Toronto, Canada, in the Inter-America region, and it's excellent to be joining everyone to speak, and I think we can continue.
So before we start our journeys together, so we want to share a little reminder that while participating in this Joti, you committed to the safe pledge. Today, we want to emphasize a few really important parts of this pledge relevant to these sessions. So we are expecting that all of us, we will behave as a good scout, respecting to our promise and law, be respectful and friendly to those we met online. So never participate in or encourage speech that is hurtful, hateful, demeaning, or judgmental of others. So have fun, make new scout friends in Joti. So let's start with our today's presentation on the humanitarian action, social aspects of humanitarian action. So next slide, please. Am I audible? Yeah. So what is actually humanitarian action? So basically, we know that the response to any natural disaster or man-made disasters. So we want to look at how the response prevent and strengthen the preparedness for when such situation and investment in recovery in humanitarian action settings. Through two of the objectives of the humanitarian action. So those are alleviate suffering and maintain human dignity. Next slide, please. So basically, humanitarian action actually refers that we have to prepare ourselves. We have to prepare ourselves before we want to support our family or our community or the affected people. So first of all, we have to strengthen our skill. Then we have to be prepared. Support. First of all, we need to support our family. Then we need to go for the development work of the community. So I want to request Sean to share her thoughts from here.
Thank you, Sunny. Yeah, so to add on to what Sunny's sharing here about how humanitarian action is at the core of our values as Scouts worldwide, and it's something around our fundamental Scout principle of duty for others and being prepared and making sure that we truly are contributing to all of those components within our society, but from any humanitarian action perspective. You will see lots of different things and you'll have lots of different experience in your community, from climate change to refugees to the economy, to all these different natural disasters that might occur. And so, more often than not, we do as scouts have the skills and the values to support and help people in our community. One of the main things to focus on here is care and dignity, which is what we want to talk with you today. We are going to share with you just a little bit more about how this principle of care and dignity, which is a part of the humanitarian action standards, but it's also something we do as scouts in our day-to-day life, and is something we should do as humanitarian action in humanitarian action settings, no matter what, where, or when. So, Nathan, if you could click the next slide. So, what I want to talk about in terms of care and dignity is that part of this is about emphasizing our role in understanding ourselves and understanding others, and what care and dignity might mean for me or for you. So first, let's explore who we are. Our identity is like a jigsaw puzzle. So together they make a whole person. We have lots of different pieces of the puzzle that bring together the whole person. And on the surface of that picture is the picture, the visible things that everyone can see. But when we turn over that jigsaw puzzle, or we mix all those pieces together, it represents different hidden sides of our identity. So think about what makes you, you. Now, we're all scouts, we're all here together, but are you an extrovert? Are you maybe somebody who likes to read books? Are you a sister? Are you a cook? What are the different things that make up your identity? So have a think about yourself and the people around you and in your community. Who are they, and what identities do you think they might see? Or what identities do you not know about them? I don't know, maybe Sunny, do you have any of your identities that you could share with us?
Yeah, like what actually not visible to my friends, or this kind of identities are like if I can say, that is I actually want to I am actually very much cool-minded person. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people does not recognize me as a cool-minded person. They some of them they got afraid about me, and they might have some misperception about me. So about my mind, the things that I might be an angry person, or I am very moody person. Like this kind of situation happens sometimes. Yeah. So after whenever they talk with me, and they got any chance to do any kind of work with me, or spend some time with me, then after that they gradually get to know about me that I am a very much cool-minded person.
That's a really good example, and I think we can think about that maybe with the people that we interact with. So there are people I might see and think, well, I think they're like this, or they have this identity, whereas maybe they don't. Maybe I have made a misconception. So have a think about those people that you are in your community and their different identities, and have a think maybe their needs might be different to yours. So for example, I'm an extrovert, so I need lots of people around me. I need the energy from other people. But if you're an introvert, or if you know someone who's introverted, you might see that they need space, they need time. And it doesn't always work in communication if we have two separate different identities, or we don't understand each other's identities. Next slide, please, Nathan. So what do you see? Can everybody see the image on the screen? You might see a few different things. You can add in the Q&A what you see. If you see something, if you see an image, if you see something different, what is it you see? Okay. Maybe the Q&A is.
So guys, you can put your perception about this picture in the question answer session or the chat session. So we can have a practice of the perception.
Let's see. Anybody?
One said a large head.
Yeah, or if he is sleepy.
Sleepy.
A face with
Woman
spiky
holding
hair.
child.
Aha, so we have
Face with spiky hair.
a few different things there, don't we? So we can
Yeah.
see that just looking at one image, we all see something different. Sunny, I don't know what you see.
I actually see two things: the big head and some person. Maybe she or he is from north or south pole area. So he's covering with woolen clothes,
Yes.
winter clothes actually.
Me too. I see. So my initial thing is an Eskimo, but I can also see now when I look, if I change the way I look, I can see a big nose and a mouth and eyes and a head. So even just Sunny and I have different perspectives. And our perceptions are the way in which we view, interpret, understand, and experience different things. It can be with our senses, with the meanings that we give to things, or our culture and our experiences. So we saw obviously that our instant reaction is shaped by everything around us in our experience and the world and in the world, and that's thanks to our perceptions. We're thinking about information about our opinion, our thoughts, feelings, values, attitudes, behaviors. Now, think about the last new person you met. It might be me, it might be Sunny, it might be somebody who's new to your school, to your community. Did you have any automatic perceptions? Quickly in your brain, you had an opinion or a thought or a feeling. Have a think about where those perceptions might come from. Think maybe there are some perceptions we have in scouting. We all tie knots. You might have heard this perception. But is this what you do every week in your scouting? I don't think so. I think what we do in scouting is so diverse, but it's very easy for people just to have one perception of who we are and what we do. Next slide, please, Nathan. Excellent. So now we can see two icebergs. And so you will both remember the image with identity. So there's all those things under the surface that make us who we are. And there's some things on top which people can see who we are. Now, when under the surface, the different identities are not understood, they're not seen, we don't know, it's very easy for there to be conflict. For example, if I'm arguing with my sibling or with my brother, and I might be arguing because I feel a certain way because my values say about a certain type of respect, whereas he doesn't understand because his values are different. But on the surface, we don't know that. And so under the surface is where we see conflict and tension. To give you an example from a humanitarian action setting, because that's why we're here, is imagine you have had to flee your home. You've left your country, your community, and you've now come to a new place. There's some lovely scouts helping in that new environment, giving you some food, the resources and the support. But you are actually have an allergy to milk. You might have it's lactose intolerant. And if you have an allergy to milk, but nobody knows, and they just think, well, you want some food, have anything, have this, and they haven't understood what's under the surface for you. And therefore that can cause you discomfort. It can make you unhappy, could make you angry, or it could cause conflict because we're not able to take time to present that care and to keep that dignity of every individual in a humanitarian setting. So we must always remember every new person we meet, what's under the surface, and how do we maintain their dignity and treat them with care and respect to ensure that they have their needs met. Last slide for me, Nathan, please. And here's just another really easy example, and maybe you can think about this now. You've seen the number 6 or the number 9. Sometimes we see it the wrong way around, we see it upside down. But if I'm stood on one side and the other person stood on the other, we see exactly the same number, but we interpret it differently. Now, remember that as we go through the next parts of the session and we think about how we make sure we provide care and dignity to people through managing our perceptions. Sunny, I'll hand back to you.
Yeah. Social we can think about like this if in general case if there is no any incident happened and in general case what kind of things actually people from the society they might need. Can you please share anything with us in the question answer in the chat box? What do you think about the need of the society? If there is anyone, any response?
I can't see yet, but maybe people are typing. So use the Q&A to type your answers to the question. Maybe we can ask Nathan. Let's put him on the spot and ask Nathan what he thinks.
Yeah.
Sure. What do I think some people need during a disaster?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me,
no, Nathan, I was just asking in general times if there is no disaster happens, what kind of things might need by the society?
You know, entertainment. So, you know, something to keep me busy, such as a game or something like that, or maybe a book or something to read or something to do. You know, maybe some other social interaction, you know, helps as well. And food. I love eating food, so you know, food has to be something that I have to have.
So I think we have some responses. They probably need a home, some food and essentials, healthcare, company for the hardship they went through. Depends on the disaster, they might need evacuation food. Yeah. So I'm coming to the disaster part. So basically. Before disaster, or if there is no any kind of disastrous situations, so we need some basic things to fulfill our livelihood actually. So after so sometimes this kind of thing happens if there is no disaster happened in so long time. So people actually did not get the preparation for the disastrous period, like right. So we need to find out, we need to think about, because we are a scout, we need to think ahead of every general people, so that we can prepare ourselves, and we also prepare our family, and also we can suggest to the community to get prepared for any kind of disaster, a disastrous moment. So we need to prepare ourselves actually. So I just wanted to show this gap. So when nothing happens, so people are life are going easy. They usually they don't want to bother about what will happen after disaster comes, or they might not think they don't want to think about the disasters in general sense. So if just going to the slides. So what do you think people need when disaster hits? Like any kind of disasters, like accidental disasters might happen, like fire incidents, and another disasters like natural disaster or man-made disasters. What kind of needs might people have? Can you share with thoughts with us? Is there any responses?
Just a little time, I think, people to type. Unfortunately, we see that you raise your hand, but we don't take live questions. We're using the Q&A session and Q&A section.
So we are getting some responses. Food, then they will need to seek refugee to some other place. We help other people. We need to prepare ourselves not to get hurt. Some yeah, that's right. People will need help.
Just to help those people struggling. The chat is disabled. You are correct. That is why we're asking you to comment in the Q&A section. We have mentioned this already. Please use the Q&A section if you want to give us one of your answers.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to ask another question. The second question, it says, what things do you think responders have to take into account for people when responding? Yeah, I think I got one response like which says that the people that we help other people. We need to prepare ourselves not to get hurt. Absolutely right, Elisa.
Mm-hmm.
We need to keep ourselves safe first. Then if we are safe, then we will be able to help others. So food and clothes, people will need help. So so do you have any experience? Can you share in just so one line that if you have any experience about conflict during a disaster or emergency? Like I have experience. I can share that is during well, a few years back we went to distribute some winter clothes in a rural area of Bangladesh, and there's kind of thing happened like people are coming together, and we wanted to distribute by one by maintaining a sequence, but they do not wanted to wait. Just they just attacked us, and we just left all the things behind, and we just escaped from that area. So this kind
Okay.
of things the thing happens, and also this kind of thing like in the shelter areas, you know, in some countries have the flood shelters or cyclone shelters. So after the disaster happened, some people lost their houses, so they came to the shelters to stay there. So many people from many different areas came together in one place, and they just live there together. All of them are living together and sharing beds, sharing washrooms, sharing foods. So in this kind of in this kind of situation, there might have have there might have any conflicting situation might have happen. So if you have any experience, you can just remember, and or you can share with us also.
So, Sunny, I can see that in the chat, someone has written, after the explosion in Beirut last year, we tried to help as much as possible by removing the debris on the streets and especially the glass. But unfortunately, it was too much and it needed at least a week for the streets to become usable again.
Okay. Okay. So Nathan,
great example.
Yeah, yeah.
And we see
Definitely.
another one here as well. During 2010, the huge flood hit most of the cities in Pakistan, and they mostly need shelter, food, clothes, and medical equipment. That's a great example as well, Mohammed.
Okay. So Nathan, could you go to the next slide, please? So in this picture, what we can see, so some needful things and some kind of usual things we can see. So like in the disastrous situation, we might have we will need food, like we might need the medicine, and that there might have some different people from different areas and from the different religions. So we have to respect each other's, and we have to take care of each other's needs. So there might have some old people, so and some disabled people. There might have some people might uh, there might have any people there who are going through some physical disabilities, that because of the disaster, like the people might have different kind of sickness for the situation. So we need to go through these situations. So Sean, do you want to share anything about this?
Yeah, I think it's really important that we remember again what we're talking about, the more social side. So even though we're responding, we're doing our best as scouts, we're remembering as well that there's so much more to the social side than just shelter, food, and supplies. Everyone has such different experiences and needs. So what Sunny is saying around religion, is there access? Is there support? Is there spiritual space for anybody in a situation like this? In terms of food, are we able to provide food that caters for vegan, allergies, for someone who is needing to have kosher food or halal? All of these things we need to think about more than the immediate response that we have, because we're very good at the immediate response. We now need to think more about the people to ensure that we maintain their dignity and provide care in our community. I don't know, Nathan, if you can click the next slide. And then we go to the... So Sunny and I want to hear from you. In what can you do? As Scouts, can you think of something you can do in a social response and humanitarian action? Sunny, you can also carry on, just moving the slide. And we'll give you a moment just to pop in the chat. Again, we appreciate it takes a little bit of time to type, so don't worry, we will give you that time. I see first, intention, in what areas can we help? Imbar, maybe you could help us understand what you mean by that. Could you comment again to let us know what you mean? Okay, we see here we can offer help as a team. We can distribute some essential food and sanitary products. That's a really great idea. What else do you think we can do as Scouts? We can show presence, volunteer in places to people who have difficulty. Yes, great, thank you, Imbar. And we could help other people understand the differences between each other. That's a really great point. I think we always need to take that time to understand, even no matter what the situation or emergency response, that we're all human and we all have differences, and we can support that for each other. And yet emotional support is very crucial. You're right, Lamia. It's definitely one of those things. Sometimes it's easy for all of us. Even for me at home, you forget that we need a little bit more time and mental support and emotional support. So in a setting like this, in humanitarian action, that support is even more important. You're absolutely correct. Oh, wow. Scout troops can contact various organizations that are already in the field to learn if they need any volunteer work. It's always better than unprofessional, uninformed action. Joanna, thank you. That's a brilliant point. We as Scouts can contribute by partnering with organizations in our community to make sure we're doing the right thing and we're doing it correctly. Again, Eric has written about humanitarian organizations using our skills. We must be prepared for any situation in an emergency. Definitely. The Scout motto is be prepared. And it's something that the more and more we're aware of the different humanitarian action situations and needs of people in our community, the better prepared we can be to respond. Great.
I just wanted to add with Sean that is most of us, we might know about dialogue. So dialogue is also a useful tool to know about things, right? So this is something within our Scout DNA and values. It supports care and dignity. And if you remember from the beginning, dialogue is also linked with the response to humanitarian action. So we can use dialogue to find differences and to discuss why someone needs something or does something in a certain way. Because you might think you might think that in a way that you were thinking you will do one thing, or you will providing something to the some needy people.
Oh, I think we've lost Sunny. Can you hear me? I don't know, Nathan, can you?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, maybe Sunny is having some technical difficulties. who will join us back again, I'm sure. He was just sharing about how dialogue is a really powerful tool to help us understand difference and to help us respond to the right needs in a humanitarian crisis. Nathan, can you click? Oh, Sunny's back. There we go. Oh, no. So unfortunately, Sunny is frozen, but I can share. He wanted to present to you this U-Report case study. So U-Report is something by UNICEF to help us understand the different things going on in our community. And what happened in the flood, in the numbers, the key results from the flood in Bangladesh in 2019. And as you can see here, that there were many, many people affected by the flood. So it's not necessarily just one place, one person, one community. You can also see that where that people didn't know in their community where to find shelter or where to find certain resources. They didn't know where to go for emergency services. And they also reported that they didn't have adequate food or water. Sunny is back. Would you like to summarize?
Oh, so you were on the, yeah.
On the last one, I was just sharing,
of,
but...
okay.
Maybe we go to the next one and then...
So, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I think we've talked a little bit about what we could do already. So maybe we can just skip to the next one so Sunny can share some more ideas with us about scouting in action.
So in this picture, we can see that some scouts are providing something to the people who are flood affected from the boat. So these are the real example from all over, from every corner, from all over the world, because scouts are doing humanitarian actions from the beginning of the scouting, because it from the core of the scouting, we are actually doing humanitarian activities. So we have a mandate that duty to others. So basing on this mandate, we are actually doing for our community, and we are just doing some action for the humanitarian incidents. So in the right side, there is a you can see there is a picture. I also experienced this situation in 2019. There is a fire incident in a very busy commercial areas of Dhaka. That is the capital of Bangladesh. So some scouts and rover scouts are like they were going to their colleges and going to the universities for their classes. When they actually heard about the incident, they just rushed in the incident area, and they just under the command of their local leaders, they just they helped the fire service and rescue response team. So and this was a very much good work done by the rover scouts. And rover scouts also did some 1 month long activities. They were you know, Dhaka is a very crowded city, and so much vehicles are there is so much traffic jam in the roads of Dhaka. So scouts also did some helping work with the metropolitan police, so so that they can reduce traffic jam. So Nathan, can you go to the next slide, please? I think we can see one picture that Cub Scouts are in their pack meeting. Can you hear me, Sean?
Yep, I still hear you.
Okay, so thank you. So every corner of the World Scouts are doing very much good work for the community, and not for only their community, but they also doing work for the other community, like one Rover Scout group from Dhaka. They are doing a community development project in the north side of Bangladesh, like 400 kilometers away from their area. So they are doing work since 2019 in that area. So they set up a school. There was no school, so in that area it's a small island actually. So there is no electricity line, and they set up one solar panel to the school. So all the students from that primary school, they are getting the access to the internet, and they rovers from the Dhaka city, they are also taking classes online for them. And these rovers also did some like wash related activities, like they set up so many sanitary latrines and deep tube wells for fresh water. They planted trees, and they give some training to the local community people, and provided some domestic animals for their livelihood, and to grow to help them to grow economically also. So the main thing is from this school, uh, the pass rate is 100%. Till now, in the primary examination, final examination, that is a board examination, primary education certificate examination. It's a board examination in Bangladesh. So no one actually failed in this examination from this school. That is the success of this project. And there are some other activities. So these activities are related to SDGs, right? So people they're planting trees, working with education, working with livelihood. These all are the components of sustainable development goal. So you might know there is a project of APR region, Asia Pacific region, that is TTL, Ticket to Life. So those people, those children and adolescents who were not able to go to the institutes to join scouting, so who are actually poor people. So TTL project is giving them the chance to join in scouting. So these are this kind of many projects are happening in worldwide. So we are encouraged to do so. We are encouraged to do more good work for our community through the scouting. So next slide, please. You want to share anything?
I was going to say it's really inspiring, and Nathan, you can click the next one. I'm just saying I'm really inspired by projects like these, and I think it helps us look back now on the conversations we've been having and think about the different needs that these projects have met, the people that they will have experienced, and the support that they've given. And I think it helps us move on to this slide to think again back about those social needs.
Yeah. So next slide, please, Nathan. So what you actually can do as an individual scout, because we need to do anything before when we start doing anything, we need to think about ourselves, what we have, what kind of skill we have, and what we need to achieve, and what we need to do, and if we want to do it, what kind of skill do I need, right? So there you can see there is a checklist, like where I'm going through it, like, so this is develop an emergency plan with your family, then acquire and maintain a survival kit for your family. So what I was saying from the beginning of this slide, that is, we need to prepare ourselves, and we need to prepare our family. Then we need to go to for the work for our community. So in the third point, we can see that get informed about local disaster risk and community resources. So basically, Sean was going through the UReport data of UNICEF. So there was a gap between gap of information. The people are not getting the they don't have the data, or they don't have the information where the flood shelter is and where they need to go when the emergency situation arises. So then be aware about evacuation procedure, routes, and shelters. Yeah, the same thing I was talking about. So work toward first aid, disaster preparedness, or similar, especially badges, if any. So then register in a first aid course and get certified. That's the thing, we need to prepare ourselves. That is a checklist. If you might have anything else in your mind. So depending on the context of your community, so there might have different kind of need or different kind of skills you might have to acquire to face the situation. So think according to your community needs, and get the skills skills, and uh, just act accordingly as per the need.
Great,
Okay,
thank you.
so
Yeah, I was going to say thank you, Sunny.
yeah,
this is
Sean.
a really great way to call us to action as well. All of you, we now have 200 participants on the call, so we expect to see some amazing action as individuals and in your community following this presentation. We have a question for you, Sunny, around how to be an active member of U-Report. Is that something we can do? How do we get involved, and how do we find out more?
Oh, so basically, till now, in 89 countries, U-Report is active in 89 countries. So you can search in Google. So U-Report, each country have individual website, and also they have social media platforms. So if you just search on Google, just U-Report, like I am from Bangladesh, I will search for U-Report Bangladesh. You are from England, you are say U-Report England, or U-Report India, U-Report Pakistan. Okay, so if when you go to the website, you will get the option to joining to that particular country's U-Report platform. So
Great.
you will be able to, after that you will be able to respond to the all kind of question, and also get the information will needed information related to your need from the U-Report platform also.
Perfect. Thank you, Sunny. Great answer. And hopefully that means many of you can go and now look as well for your relevant U-Report.
Yeah, you also,
if
you can find any of the website of the U-Report countries, then you can go to the there is an option, there's country just there is an option like countries, say it says countries. So if you click on that, then you will get the list which countries U-Report are active now.
Perfect. Thank you, Sunny. And so I think that brings us nicely to the end. If Nathan, you can click the next slide. Sunny and I can share with you the challenge code. Thank you for your patience. We do remind you that it's good to access the challenge code. Your active participation and learning is really encouraged during the Joti. So Sunny and I have had a real pleasure to share this 45 minutes with you. And we really hope that you are inspired to take action, and you can see that everyone plays a role in the social side of humanitarian action. And we as Scouts have the skills and the values to make sure we're doing the best we can. Sunny, any final words from you before we close the session?
Yeah, I just want to repeat one thing, that is just strengthen your skills, be prepared, support your family, then start working for the development of your community. Thank you all.
Excellent. Great. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Joti, and we'll see you again another time.